What if the person you loved the most was suddenly gone? What if you woke up tomorrow and realized that the voice you've been hearing your entire life will never call your name again? What if the arms that held you through every storm will never wrap around you again? What if the person who knew every corner of your soul just vanished? There's this emptiness that follows. Not the kind you feel when you're alone in a room, but the kind that follows you everywhere, into every conversation, into every silence, into every breath you take. It's the realization that hits you like a freight train, that someone who was your entire world, your father, your mother, your soulmate, life partner, your love, is no longer a phone call away. No longer a hug away, no longer anything away. And suddenly, you understand that there are some kinds of pain that don't have words, some wounds that logic can't heal, some losses that break something inside you so fundamental that you're not even sure who you are anymore without them. This is that pain, the one that reaches into the deepest part of your heart and changes everything. But here's what nobody tells you about that moment when it first hits you. Your brain, it doesn't compute. It literally cannot process the information. Because how can someone who was so alive, so present, so there, just not be there anymore? How can they be gone forever? You keep expecting them to walk through that door. You keep reaching for your phone to text them. You keep turning around to tell them something. And then you remember, they're not coming back. They're never coming back. Every place you've been together becomes a museum of memories. Their favorite coffee shop, the corner where you'd meet them after work, that bench in the park where you'd sit and talk for hours. Even your own home feels like a mausoleum now. You touch their things, and it's like touching fear. Their jacket still hanging in the closet. Their coffee mug still sitting in the kitchen sink. Their side of the bed that's now just empty space. And that's when you realize something that cuts deeper than the loss itself. The real pain isn't that they're gone. The real pain is the space they left behind. The U-shaped hole in the universe that nobody else can fill. The silence that used to be their laughter. The emptiness that used to be their presence. Because when someone you love dies, a part of you dies with them. And you start to wonder, how do you live with a piece of your soul missing? And then come the nights. Those 3 a.m. moments when the world feels too heavy and you instinctively reach for your phone. Your finger hovers over their contact. Their name is still there. Their photo is still smiling back at you. But you can't call them anymore. You can't call them ever again. There's no voice on the other end asking, "Hey honey, are you okay?" No one checking if you've eaten today. No one reminding you to lock the doors or asking if you made it home safe. The silence where their voice used to be, it's deafening. You realize how much of your life was built around their caring. Those tiny moments you took for granted. When they'd text you during your lunch break just to say hi. When they'd wait up for you even though they were exhausted. When they'd notice you looked sad before you even said a word. And here's what breaks you completely. It's not the big moments you miss most. It's not the birthdays or holidays. It's Tuesday afternoon when something funny happens and you want to tell them. It's Sunday morning when you're making coffee, and you automatically make 2 cups. It's every single ordinary moment that was made extraordinary just because they were in it. You had 1,000 conversations you thought were meaningless. 1,000,000 see you laters that you thought were guaranteed. You said, "I love you," but did you say it enough? Did you hug them long enough? Did you look at them, really look at them, knowing it might be the last time? Now every "I should have" becomes a knife in your chest. And the hardest truth of all, you'd give anything for just one more ordinary day with them. But then something happens that's even worse than missing them. You stop feeling anything at all. The pain becomes so overwhelming that your body just shuts down, like a circuit breaker that can't handle the electrical surge. You become numb, not the peaceful kind of numb, the terrifying kind. The kind where you're alive but not living. You sit in rooms and stare at walls for hours, not thinking, not crying, just existing in this gray space between life and death. People ask how you're doing, and you say fine, because there are no words for what this is. There's no language for the way your soul feels like it's bleeding out through every pore. The nights are the worst. You lie in bed with your eyes wide open, listening to the sound of your own heartbeat, wondering why it's still going when theirs has stopped. You want to cry, but the tears won't come. You want to scream, but your voice is gone. You want to feel something, anything, but it's like you're buried under 10 feet of cotton. Your friends try to help. They bring food you can't taste. They invite you places you can't enjoy. They tell you it gets better and you want to slap them, because how could anything ever be better when the best part of your world is gone? You become a stranger to yourself. The person in the mirror looks like you but feels like a hollow shell. You go through the motions, showering, eating, working, but you're not really there. You're just a ghost haunting your own life. And the question that haunts you in those 4 a.m. moments when the silence is suffocating, what's the point of any of this if they're not here to share it with you? Here's what everyone gets wrong about grief. They tell you to be strong. They tell you to move on. They tell you to celebrate their life, not mourn their death. And you nod and smile because that's what you're supposed to do. But inside, you're screaming. Because sometimes you don't want to be strong. Sometimes you need to fall apart. Sometimes the only honest thing you can do is collapse under the weight of what you've lost. And that's okay. Listen to me. It's okay to not be okay. The world will try to put a timeline on your grief. 6 months, a year. Surely you should be feeling better by now. But grief doesn't follow schedules. Healing doesn't have deadlines. Your heart doesn't consult a calendar before it breaks all over again. So stop running from the pain. Stop trying to numb it with work, with alcohol, with anything that promises to make it hurt less. Because the pain isn't your enemy. The pain is proof that what you had was real. The pain is love with nowhere to go. Let it wash over you like a tsunami. Don't build walls against it. Don't fight the current. Let it take you under completely. Let it shatter every defense you've built. Let it break you open like an egg. Because here's the secret they don't tell you. You have to break before you can heal. You have to fall apart completely before you can put yourself back together. The cracks in your heart aren't weaknesses. They're where the light gets in. So cry until you can't breathe. Scream into pillows. Punch walls if you have to. Feel every excruciating second of it. Because on the other side of that breakdown, that's where you find your way back to yourself. But here's something that might sound impossible right now, but I need you to hear it. The person you lost, they're not gone. Not really. I know that sounds crazy. I know you want to tell me I'm wrong, because you can't touch them, you can't call them, you can't see their face light up when you walk into a room. But stay with me. Think about who you were before you met them. Think about the person you are now. Do you see it? They didn't just pass through your life. They became part of your DNA. They changed your molecular structure. They rewrote your code. Every time you show kindness to a stranger, that's them loving through you. Every time you laugh at something ridiculous, that's their sense of humor living in your chest. Every time you make a decision and you hear their voice in your head saying, "I'm proud of you," that's not your imagination. That's them, still guiding you home. They're in the way you hug people a little tighter now because you know how precious time is. They're in the way you say, "I love you," more often because you understand that tomorrow isn't guaranteed. They're in every sunset you stop to notice, every song that moves you to tears, every moment of beauty that takes your breath away. You think their death took them from you, but here's the truth that will save your life. Their love made you who you are. And as long as you're breathing, as long as you're choosing compassion over bitterness, hope over despair, love over fear, they're still here. The question isn't whether they're gone. The question is, will you honor what they gave you by letting it make you more alive, not less? You know what I've learned about love after loss? Love is the only thing in this universe that defies the laws of physics. Energy can't be created or destroyed, only transformed. And love? Love works the same way. The love they had for you didn't die with them. It didn't get buried 6 feet underground or scattered with the ashes. It transformed. It became something bigger, something more powerful, something that transcends the physical world. You feel it when you're driving alone and suddenly you're overwhelmed with this inexplicable sense that everything's going to be okay. That's not wishful thinking. That's their love wrapping around you like an invisible blanket. You feel it when a stranger smiles at you for no reason, when a song comes on the radio at exactly the moment you need to hear it, when you find the strength to get out of bed on the days when breathing feels impossible. That's them. That's their love working through the universe to remind you that you're not alone. And here's the most beautiful part. Their love didn't just transform, it multiplied. Every person you touch with, kindness, carries a piece of their love forward. Every act of compassion you show is their love rippling outward into the world. Every time you choose hope over despair, you're proving that their love is still alive, still growing, still changing lives. You are not just carrying their memory, you are carrying their love. And that love has made you more empathetic, more grateful, more aware of how precious every moment is. It has made you into someone who hugs longer, loves deeper, and appreciates harder. Carry their love with you and let it give you strength. Because love this deep doesn't end with death. It begins a new chapter. And you are the pen writing that story. So let me tell you something that might change everything. Right now, in this very moment, you have a choice. You can let this pain destroy you. Or you can let it rebuild you into someone stronger, someone more beautiful, someone who loves deeper, because you understand how fragile everything is. The person you lost? They didn't want their death to be the end of your story. They wanted it to be the beginning of a new chapter, one where you live with more intention, love with more courage, and appreciate every ordinary miracle that crosses your path. You think this life is too long to live without them? But here's what I see. This life is also long enough to honor them every single day. Long enough to become the person they believed you could be. Long enough to love again, not to replace them, but to expand your heart in ways you never thought possible. Because grief isn't the opposite of love. Grief is love. It's love with nowhere to go. So it transforms into something more powerful. It becomes wisdom, compassion, and the fierce determination to make every moment count. You are not broken. You are breaking open. There's a difference. Every tear you've cried has watered the seeds of who you're becoming. Every sleepless night has taught you that you're stronger than you ever imagined. Every moment you've chosen to keep breathing even when it hurt, has been an act of rebellion against despair. The sun will rise tomorrow, and the day after that. And one day, maybe not today, maybe not next month, but one day, you'll wake up and realize that the pain has shifted. It's still there, but it's no longer suffocating you. It's become part of your story, not the ending of it. Their love lives in every kindness you show, every hand you hold, every heart you heal. You are not just surviving their absence, you are making their love immortal. If you're still breathing, you're still becoming. Let your pain shape your soul, not shatter it. You are loved. You are not alone.